So I stumbled upon this list of predictions from Yury Lipshits, who is the founder of Nim Video. Let's dig right in. So Yury Lipshits is the founder of Nim Video, and his background is apparently Caltech, Yahoo Research, and SuperDAO. Don't know too much about that or him. It's first time coming on my radar, but I have been playing around a little bit with Nim Video. It is a video generator. It's got a cool interface where you can kind of like use a workspace to look at all your different projects. You can upload stuff. Apparently you can also create story. I haven't played around with it too much, to be honest. And then you can also try out the new Hunyuan model right here. So you can try the Hunyuan model right there. So that's pretty cool. I haven't played much with it, but this guy's got 19 predictions for 2025 for Gen AI. So why not look into it? Who knows? So next year the number of AI creators will grow 10x, but lots of ideas will not live up to the hype. Here are 19 predictions. So, right away, he's starting with grow 10x. Right now, I would, I think at least I know of like maybe thousands. I've heard that Civet AI has 3 million people on their platform. So maybe it's in the millions. But do we count users of character.ai as, as creators? And is that considered to be, that's like 100 million people? Or even if a person uses Bing image or Meta image to create an image, do they count as a creator? I don't know. But, it's an interesting matter. The professional creator space is probably in the hundreds of thousands right now. And whether or not that's going to explode or not is kind of an interesting question. His next prediction is model aggregators will take on R&D companies who will only serve their own models. Okay, the depth and quality of the user interface will determine the winners and losers. Mainstream creators will prefer all-in-one apps. That's interesting. I think that looks like, does that look like a scenario where a Runway looks a lot easier to use, right? I show people over and over again that the Runway interface, it's got a lot going on in it, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can do in here. When you go to the dashboard, you've got like tons of tools, right? And so like, is there a version of this where it's all in one place and it's easier to use? Maybe it's text prompted, right? Next prediction is story level tools. More innovation will happen to support the creative process end to end, including brainstorming, storyboard, clip generation, editing, and sound production. I could see that. I guess this is kind of like a similar, is it the same one user innovation, one user interface? But maybe what he's saying is that these two are kind of interrelated, or maybe more specific to just story level. Template ecosystems. The blank canvas problem will be solved. Best AI artists will start creating templates that other AI creators can use. Fully AI generated video stocks will become widely available and compete against traditional stocks. I guess I've heard this a lot amongst some of my friends, even like, is there a value in building a workflow type product where you're essentially creating workflows that other people can use? And it's kind of funny because is it going to be this world where even the workflow or the BTS is more valuable or more interesting to watch than the actual film that you made, right? Like if we look at the work of, I believe her name is Karen on Instagram. Let me see if I can find her. Karen, really amazing creator. Karen Cheng, I believe, if I remember correctly. So Karen Cheng. Is it Karen? Yes, it is Karen X Cheng. So like, she does a lot of stuff where she's like showing the video first, like in this case is the video, and then she does the BTS. Like look at how like this is the original made a commercial for Noodle, and then the BTS is 35.6K, right? Like it's bigger than the actual thing. This one went viral a while ago, right? This was the actual one. Oh, sorry, this was the actual one here. Nope, this is the actual one here, right? Which is really cool. We got 6,300 likes roughly. The BTS is 56.9 thousand likes. So like maybe this is the future, right? And so like in a world where template ecosystems become a thing, is this kind of like a TikTok type scenario, right? Then we got real-time trends, number 4. Gen AI apps will get connected to real-time trends, music, sounds, memes, characters, and allow users to create content that's most relevant for the moment. Well, again, another kind of TikTok prediction, I would say, which is kind of what TikTok has now, right? I've heard before that sometimes the way that you could tell if a TikTok was going to go viral was looking at which music was being used, and then that meme of music and sound would actually be the good predictor. And so this is kind of, it's important to think about this, like what is the future of memes, right? Adoption, number 5, 10x growth in daily AI video creators. This is what he said earlier. Millions more people will start making AI for art for self-entertainment and self-expression. Consumer side adoption will far outpace B2B adoption in 2025. I'm so curious how this is going to happen, and whether or not the existing creators are, going to be there in this, in this market. How will the professional creators interact with this market where other people can create things based on what you made? Then there's the superstar AI creators. The Mr. Beast or Charlie D'Amelio moment of AI creativity will happen in 2025. Several AI creators will get to 1 million followers. This success will start the ripple effect and inspire millions more to start their AI creator journey. I mean, I can already think of a handful of people. I mean, obviously Dave Clark, Paul Trillo, Don Allen Stevenson. There's just Boltron. There's a handful of people who are really amazing AI artists. Junie Lau, like these people are just amazing. And I wouldn't be surprised if, they start going viral next year. New genres. We will see the explosion of crossovers, Harry Potter and Star Wars, adaptations, translations, and remakes of centuries of human culture. New genres will emerge, including short form series, 1 to 5 minute episodes, sketch comedy, mini podcasts, and AI music videos. I agree. I definitely think that this is going to happen. It's just going to be so much easier to remix with AI, like the ability for me to take something and change it into anything is just, making a vampire space drama or a Star Warsian, Tolkien-esque, grunge rock, punk, hip hop opera, like all of that is possible, right? Way faster. AI content factories. There will be continuous growth of small companies running systems of social media accounts with high volumes of content created with the help of AI. I think this is probably going to happen considering that less people can churn out more stuff, but also meaning that I think there's going to be also large companies churning out way larger, more complex stuff. I mean, I've been saying for a while now, I think that there is a world to me where AI is going to enable really super large AAA games to be created. Super large AAA games that require AI-enabled developers, AI-enabled creators to create like pockets of worlds within worlds that people can play in. Imagine World of Warcraft on steroids, where people are literally creating new content every day because they have AI to help them accelerate that. Me content. There will be more and better ways to create content based on a user selfie or self-description. Everyday people will be able to get full-length stories with themselves as protagonists. Oh, I've said this before. I think I wrote an article about this, like the grandma cinematic universe, right? Where like the GMCU, where like it's possible that everybody will be able to create like full-on worlds and stories. I think maybe that's a few years away, and maybe this is kind of this me content is the precursor. Adult content creation. Some apps will embrace an adult-friendly approach and allow users to create NSFW content. At least one adult-friendly Gen AI app will develop an effective marketing strategy without explicit demos on traditional social media. So does this look like OnlyFans with AI? Is this already existing right now? I think the open source world is full of AI porn, I have to say. So this might be a trend of actually 2024 and maybe explodes in 2025 as the open source tools get better. Number 11, open source will close the gap on video. Open models like Hunyuan, Cog Video X, and Mochi are definitely all really strong tools. We'll get even closer in quality to commercial models. Sora, Luma, Kling, Minimax. At least one open model will catalyze an ecosystem of fine tunes and plugins. Totally agree. I think also like is Meta Movie Gen in this? Like is Meta gonna be the open source player in the video world? I wonder. Right? And maybe even Google. Would Google VO2 be in that bucket as well? Inference clouds. Specialist cloud providers will run models faster and cheaper. Generation costs will fall 10x, so 5 cents per clip. Custom training costs will also fall by 5 to 10. Lower costs will open AI video creation to a wider audience. I can't wait for this. I'm very curious what kind of jobs will be created from this. And this is, I've done a few videos about this theme of like what happens when things get cheaper. Because I do think that it might lead to more jobs, not less jobs, which I think is really exciting. New inference architectures, more complex architectures will rise, combining multiple diffusion models, rule-based systems, text-time compute, character controls, community-trained nodes, and more. I have to admit, this is over my head a bit. I don't know what this means, but yeah, maybe anybody else in the comments who's more technical than me can understand this one. But yeah, it sounds like it's like combining multiple different types of ways to solve kind of generation AI problems. So maybe that generative AI problem. So maybe that is what this is talking about. Let me know. Specialized models, research focus will shift from foundation models to specialized tools, upscaling, regional editing, special effects, lip sync, and storyboarding. A new category, creative co-pilots, will emerge to assist creators through their entire creative process. Now this, I really do wonder if like AI agents will play a big part in this. So not just that we are going to have all these very specific specialized tools, but that AI agents, or in this case, he's calling them creative co-pilots, will they be weaving all these together? Not just that they're assisting the entire creative process, but that they will actually be doing these for us via text prompting or via just watching what we're doing. I mean, it looks like computer use and ChatGPT vision, as well as Gemini vision, are all able to like observe what you're doing, what happens when they can also kind of control aspects of what you're doing and execute on that. So pretty cool. Copyright battles. People will continue creating using copyrighted characters. Some IP holders will fight it. Others will try to monetize it. A new licensing standard will emerge. It will not be blockchain based, despite the efforts to make it so. I don't know. I'm very curious where crypto, NFTs, and with Elon, up in the mix. Like, I wonder how that will influence crypto and the money pouring into it, and how much innovation is going to come out of that. So on that, I'm skeptical of his position there. I do, and because especially like if you look at CC0, which is a trend in NFTs a few years ago, like that was people essentially allowing anybody to use their IP to do anything with, which I think is a potential foundational thing here. Like, how do we approach open source content, open source IP? But yes, I mean, the broader point here, I think people will continue using copyrighted characters for sure, and it's going to get messy. Might be lawsuits incoming, but I think people should also be encouraged to make their own content. And I think we're seeing too much of remixing Star Wars, remixing Mickey Mouse, remixing what have you, Ghibli, etc. And those creators should be honestly using ChatGPT to create new content. Why aren't they? On-device inference will not be impactful yet. It will take 2 to 3 years before substantial parts of the creative process will move from the cloud to user devices. I mean, yes and no. I mean, this might be a little self-serving because Nim Video, I think, does do most of the stuff on cloud, which makes sense. And of course, Comfy UI with Fall.ai are also doing that. But I know a lot of people who are professional creators who are doing on-device stuff because they'd rather do that. No Hollywood breakthrough. Number 17. Gen AI will only play a supporting role in TV and film production, helping with individual scenes, special effects, and pre-production. AI native indie studios will take longer to succeed, with first mainstream releases in 2026 and beyond. I gotta agree, but I do think that 2025, in terms of like Hollywood experimentation, I think is going to happen in 2025. I think that's already on the way. So I think that's kind of exciting. And yeah, but I would agree that mainstream release is probably not until 2026. I mean, it takes a long time to make these films anyway, right? Sometimes 2 years usually on average or something like that to make a full feature-length film. Number 18, no killer AI game. There'll be more pilots and demos for AI-generated games and worlds, but still no native game consistently played for its quality rather than the novelty factor. So I think that's a pretty interesting one. I think that we're only now starting to see the innovation in AI generated games. And I've played with a few of these tools and they're very impressive. Don't get me wrong. It's like you can text prompt a model and within 5 minutes you have a game running immediately. Now these are very simple, almost like web-based games, like RPG style or like very simple platformer or like a Flappy Bird type game, but still we are like right around the corner. No AI influencer. The original idea of an AI influencer will not live up to... and I will say about the game thing, I don't think that we're going to see like a big AAA AI generated game But I think we are already seeing a lot of experimentation in games. I mean, I've already seen a lot of AI games, which are rather AI deployed into games, right? People are using machine learning to improve the, the NPCs, for example, or the other characters in the game. I've already seen that played out by huge properties, but I mean, this is kind of like a subjective thing because what do we mean here by no AI native game consistently praised for its quality rather than the novelty factor? I don't know. I think that can be a little bit subjective, but yeah, maybe in 2025 we're not going to see it yet. But I don't know. I mean, I think where I see games currently at and where we're going to see it in Q1 next year, if games proceeded on the similar path to what video did, which is might not be possible, then by the end of next year we might be seeing like AI games, improving by quite a bit. So 19, the last one, no AI influencer. The original idea of an AI influencer will not live up to its hype. Photorealistic human characters will not achieve celebrity level influence and brand deal economics. The most successful AI accounts will not be human simulators. I think this is interesting in context of Lil Miquela, right? Because Lil Miquela is not necessarily AI, but definitely CGI influencer with millions of followers. Not out there in the world because they don't exist, but Lil Miquela is an example of a non-human influencer. So to what extent are we going to see an AI influencer in that way? Yeah, it's maybe this is dependent upon to what degree does the general public accept AI versus like the AI commercial conversation is very different because people don't seem to care, right? The general audience doesn't even really know. All they see is CGI or near CGI. Which, by the way, it's kind of funny to me that he didn't really say anything about commercials in here. So which is, I think, to me might be the big trend of 2025. So anyway, what do you guys think of all these predictions? I think they're very salient. Some I don't totally agree with. I think they're all very interesting, especially this kind of daily AI video creators, the superstar AI creators. That's kind of interesting. AI content factories is really interesting. New genres, like all these points are really cool. So would love to hear what you guys think of it. And please let me know if there's any other people making cool prediction lists out there, because I'm very curious what other folks think in the industry. I mean, Yury is clearly very deep in the space. He's a founder of NIM. So there's probably a lot there that is worth kind of ruminating on because he's deep in the space. And I'm sure there are a lot of others. So I'm curious, as the year ends, there's probably a lot of lists out there that are worth digging into. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you got this far, like and subscribe and all that stuff. But, actually give me a comment because I'm curious what you guys think of what these predictions look like. Do they scare you? Should we be thinking about different ones? And yeah, what makes you optimistic? What makes you pessimistic? Anyhow, thanks again. Talk to you soon.